Cool. Check, 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 check. Just pop this link into some Discord. This music is so loud in my headphones. Just turn my mixer way down. What is this? Cool. All right. Let's do some mapping. Okay. So this is like a big open area. I should try to do something with this. Okay. The shape is so strange. Maybe I can make this into something else. This just looks so strange the way that it is. It's like too skinny. I feel like I want this to come down like this. What's up, Sandwich? Telly loves you. Is that really true? That all the textures in this WAD make it seem like Telly's like invading and stuff. Where's all the computer textures? Like Telly's watching you and stuff? Let's see if I can find them. The world is ours. Yeah, it's like evil Telly. He invades to love you. Guess we'll see. There's gonna be a lot of disappointed Telly in this WAD. So I think most players are just gonna freaking shoot him. Oh, wait a minute. I shouldn't have connected those because I want to make this a different elevation. So actually what I should do is connect all this together. Delete this. If I make this around this corner off, it's going to look a little weird. Yeah, something like that. Problem is this texture set doesn't have any trees in it. Or it doesn't really have any like tree decorations and stuff, I think. I think there's like some potted plants. It's kind of sparse. Is vibe mapping like mood mapping? I don't know, man. I still don't actually understand what mood mapping is. I'm just kind of going off the cuff. That's what my vibe mapping is. It's like I have a tiny idea of what I'm trying to do, but no real idea of how I'm getting there. Zuzu, first time I heard of mood mapping. Yeah, ask Knights about that. I don't really know what it's supposed to be either. Alright, so there are like literally no tree type of Did I look through everything? Oh, there are plants. Hold on a second. Oh, there's like little folders that these have been stashed in. Well, this changes a lot, because one of the things I was struggling with earlier when I was screwing around was I just didn't see any good plants, but I didn't realize there's like a whole folder of them. Winter trees. Let's see. Deciduous tree. And some bushes. This will be good. Let's see. I think this one. How tall is this tree? That's tiny. It's a little tiny tree. About deciduous tree. This is 720 units tall. That's a lot better. I wish there was an even taller one. We've got binders full of plants. Yeah, we do. We got all kinds of options here. Office plant crushable. It's unusual. I mean, aside from these winter... Oh, that's nice. If it was bigger. I mean, if it was like a full tree. I like the height of that, but... Alright, we'll just go with deciduous tree. About to crush this plant. Yo, dude. I'm gonna fucking crush some plants here. Is there good concrete? Cement? I'm still not super familiar with this texture set. I don't know what all the textures are called. That seems... Give it a little bit of a... urban natural vibe. Some... landscaping. I could just make like a general kind of this to be 68 to match the other side. Like those big urban naturals. Yo, we got some nice urban naturals here. Let's come up a little bit more. Get a little stair builder action going on. It's like a cheat code for detailing. Oh. Grab this flat here. There we go. Looks like a bicep. Yeah, because I like to flex my mapping skills on people. Maybe some good trees. Go back to the deciduous trees. Bro making a shaft. Big gone. Dig gone. Listen. All shapes in Doom end up just resembling a penis. There we go, some like natural stuff. I don't know if I like that yet, but we'll see. I'm on my phone and no volume, but hi, kudos, good luck. Thanks, Clippy. He won't hear me say that. Sandwich, tell him I said hi as well. And thanks. If you could. What is this? This song's getting on my nerves. Alright, good. It's like getting like five Jimmy songs in a row. Some of these songs I've heard a whole bunch of times, you know, it's like, okay. Alright, what's the angle of this line here? Kind of a weird angle. It's not aligned with the grid, but what if I do this? And now, I'm gonna do some like octagons. It's not like an equilateral octagon, but it'll work. I think I just ended up... Hold on, if I unrotate the grid... Here's what I'll do. I'd prefer to have an octagon that aligns with the grid. Like the normal grid. There we go. Zelgados. Hello. Sesamia. How's it going? Is the music at a good level? I can't tell. It's like really loud in my headphones, and I've turned my headphones down like 3 times. But I think in my test recordings it was always pretty reasonable volume. Let's do this. Dude, we're just gonna cheat code the stair builder for everything. No, I wanna... There we go. Going awesome. Been drinking and doing some Warcraft 3 mapping. Nice. I used to make custom stuff for StarCraft back in the day. That was like one of the first games I made map content for. Some pretty cool stuff you can do with the different scripting and whatnot. Like my first foray into that kind of design. Alright, so this is going to be like some planters or something. I don't know if I like made this space big enough when I kind of hashed it out early. Feels like there's not enough distance between these buildings, so I'm going to make it work, but it is a little weird feeling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to design these. These are going to be like little planters. I don't know, they might look a little weird. We'll see. Put some... We're just going to rock the deciduous tree for everything. I feel like look at a lot of, you know, urban spaces. They all have this, you know, a bunch of same plants copy and pasted over and over again, so I'm allowed to do that. This is going to look really weird. If it's not like perfectly symmetrical in some way, it's going to really bother me. Something about watching someone map while sipping on a cup of tea. It's truly one of those moments where you take a sip and go, ah. Yeah, maybe I should brand this as like a cozy ASMR mapping stream or something like that. Doomwads, hey, how's it going? How you doing, Doomwads? Just having a chill evening and do a little bit of casual mapping. How's things going in your world? All right, this is where it would help to like rotate the grid. I don't know how this is going to be effective, but I can kind of like roughly get these equidistant. They're mostly equidistant, it'll be good. Thing is, most people don't notice things that you notice as the mapper. They're like, oh man, that thing is totally off center. Most people don't actually see that stuff, but you know it's there. It's not acceptable to leave it that way, is it? All right, let's increase the resolution of the grid. It's probably a better way to do this, but I don't know what it is, and I'm not really going to try to figure it out. One more? Uno más? 60. Can I get... What's 68 at? Yeah, that would be better if I measured where I'm going before I try to get there. Oh, I left a vertex behind. That's too far. Yeah, that's too far. Oop. I'm not dexterous enough to do this mapping. All right, 65, difference of 3 map units between 65 and 68 will be fine. Nobody will notice. Does that look okay? I don't know. That might be too many. And this is too close to that. I don't know if I actually like that. Here's what a lot of people don't know. If you don't map, a lot of your time is just spent like having no damn idea what you're doing. Maybe I can do... All right, I don't really like this idea. So this is going to be a lot of like deleting stuff, I have a feeling like this is what my mapping session's going to be this time. Just going to delete a bunch of stuff. All right, I'm going to keep this here. I have another idea. Let's move this like right here and rotate the grid. Grab all these lines here. Let's bust out the stair builder again. .64 is a good depth. And grab this line and put it here. Maybe I'll do like a sidewalk that leads up, and there'll be like a sidewalk that borders this structure. See, I haven't really explained, but like the concept of this map is like a kind of an urban Duke Nukem-esque kind of environment, I guess. I'm not really trying to make it super realistic, but just look like a cool urban environment. I'll go into the game real quick and show what that looks like. I've done a lot of just like fudging around on the auto map. I haven't really like, you know, filled in a lot of details, just trying to figure out what I'm doing. So I got a nice little cityscape skybox going on, and some buildings and some elevation, you know, befitting an urban environment. And just kind of this general open area that you come into first and foremost. Maybe some little interior that I'll develop. I do want to have the player come up on these like balconies on the building, and there's going to be a little like cubicle area in here, some kind of office. This may be like a meeting room or something. And then another building you can come into. Giant Telly flashing billboard. Come up here. This will be something. This might be like an alleyway or something. And this will be the interior of a building, maybe. I don't know how much detail the building interior will have. And maybe it'll empty back out into the alley, so there'll be kind of like a circuit that's possible. Try to have some circuits in this map so that you can kind of go a few different ways through the routes. So it'll be hopefully non-linear. And yeah, so anyways, what I'm trying to do right now is just sort of like fill out this big open space in the sort of main area, just because I think, I don't know, just like undetailed open spaces really bother me. I don't know if that's really a valid use of my mental overhead, but it's something that I think about, so let's see if I can figure it out. Haven't done a lot of really any gameplay design for it yet. So And then I basically just copied this line from this building here because I want the angle of this sidewalk. I think this is going to be a sidewalk. I just want that angle to match, you know? How can I make... What I need to do is bring this line out and bring this line out. And then let's see... A lot of little tricks you can do if you like copy and paste sections of lines you've already drawn. To go. I can like more or less maintain the angle that I was going for, or if it's not completely perfect, it is close enough that you won't notice it. Okay, good. That line is connected. Checking to make sure that line was actually connected. The vertex was connected at the intersection. And, let's see. Oh, this needs to keep... Let's see. Oh, like... That looks so weird. It, like, needs to be this angle. There we go. It's a little awkward little sidewalk. I think what makes this hard too is that this isn't really how a city looks. Like in terms of the relationship of these buildings in this space. This could be, I don't know, maybe like some kind of little pavilion type of area or something. Inaya, hello. Now this is downtown I can get behind. Yeah. It's a bit of an abstract downtown, I guess. This might be good enough. Just kind of breaks up the visual flow. Now what I got to figure out, there's actually not a lot of good building textures in this texture set. It's kind of limited. And a lot of them are like intentionally a bit 90s jank. So it's definitely not the most gorgeous fidelity, and that's fine. That's the way it's supposed to look. It's supposed to look a little cheesy. But somebody who's a bit of a perfectionist like me when it comes to this kind of thing, I'm like trying to figure out how I want to use these textures. And there's a few city textures that are definitely taken from Duke Nukem 3D. These DN city textures, but there's only like... There's not that many of them. So, and you can see they're basically, this is actually misleading because I have it set to use textures on top. So the actual true number of Duke Nukem City textures is 7. So trying to use those in conjunction with the Doom 2 urban textures are a little whack. I got a lot of like building interior textures, but these are like a little bit more of like residential types of textures. You're not going to see wallpaper that looks like this inside of an office building. Got some brick, kind of more like a castle vibe, and this is like a temple vibe. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I want to design this area, or if I just want to accept that I'll just end up using a lot of the same textures over and over again, like this. The texturing looks nice so far. Thanks. I mean, I have kind of like hashed it out a little bit, you know, just to kind of build a proof of concept more than anything else. I think it has a lot of potential. It just might not be the most varied. Have you ever tried mapping for Duke 3D? Doom mods? Yes, actually, that was the first game I ever did any mapping for. So when I was but a wee lad, I was probably like 10 or 11 years old, and I definitely made some maps in Build Editor. It was a lot of fun. Similar to Doom mapping in many ways, but you can like scale the textures. I remember that. So like if you had the texture here, you can use the arrow keys or some other key, I can't remember, and it like actually stretch them. I don't know why, but I like want something to be here, but it just feels like it'll make everything cluttered, but I have this weird inclination. What things are there? They're like light poles or anything? That could be a good... These are like normal ones, but there's got to be more, right? There's some Telly stuff. Oh, an oil stain and a TAM 4 chassis. Yeah, Duke Nukem 3D mapping. Yeah, that was an interesting time. I didn't really know what I was doing. I spent a lot of time looking at like example maps and reading the reference guide, which actually, this was before Chubbs Doomer was on the internet showing people how to make really advanced Doom maps or similar stuff to that. You know, there's no YouTube back then, so you literally could just sit there and read the reference material. It's kind of like the biggest way to figure out stuff. And yeah, I spent a lot of time just looking through that, figuring out how like the sector tags and sector references worked. Rotating doors, you know, like Duke Nukem had those. That was tricky to figure out at first. It's another situation where it's like, all right, how far away these are from each other? 85, 85. This is definitely farther. Yeah, it's a lot farther. 90, yep, 85. So just keep these going down. Oh wait, I can copy and paste these now. I have enough for like a rough array. 79. That's close enough, right? You gonna be able to tell the difference? This might work. I don't know, does that seem like too many? I don't know. Cool. Maybe I'll just leave this area. Oh, hold on, one more thing. Plants don't just grow out of the concrete. That's concrete, baby. Is all lower unpegged? Yeah, they are. Yeah, even though these are all like I would like to vary this up, but the alternative is this texture basically. I don't think any of the other textures really like, mesh super well. I don't know. It just seems pointless. But maybe I can vary this up in other ways. Like if I end up putting some kind of detail border texture on these. I don't know. I don't really need to do that right now. I think I'm just still going to continue to work on the layout more than anything else. Could put something on here. And like as I say that, I'm like immediately thinking of the next detail I want to put on something. Add some sort of support style texture to it. Fun E-Person Productions. Hello there. Yeah, that's a pretty tried and true method for like a border texture, right? Should I make those 32? Got these cool like golden colored ones for whatever reason. I don't know why. Oh, you know, with support textures though, 24 is the magic number. Like that. Yeah, the only thing is I feel like these are more like industrial city. Also just support texture in general. I have this like unspoken rule where I actually try to avoid using it for border textures because it's so common of a border texture. Thought the dulcet sounds of your midis would be playing as well. I actually have some of my midis mixed in with this playlist. So you'll hear them, maybe. It's on shuffle. I do like these lights. I think the lights will work for this. So eventually what I'll do is I'll come and make like little... I can just do it right now, I guess. little square sectors, just so I can lighten these up. Something like that. Cool. Run downstairs and grab a beer, and that'll take like 1 minute. Okay. I'm back. Jinx Doomer, nice. I like mapping streams. Hello. Hopefully I can put on a decent, entertaining, cozy stream here. This is random, but eyeliner by now always sounded like designing 90s CGI environments to me. Might be copyrighted though. Oh, the song? Is that a song? Fun E-Persona Productions. Obsessing with detailing in a single area over actually trying to create the general layout as a trap I constantly find myself falling into. Yeah. You know, I try not to beat myself up over it too much. So what I usually do is I'll allow myself to do some detailing in the beginning, especially. Or if I just want to take a break from layout. But I just find that like delving into the detailing early on just kind of helps me feel out the vibe a little bit before I get too entrenched in the map. So I don't know, maybe you make like decisions about what shapes you kind of draw and other things that you do based on some of the texturing choices you decide to make. So I think that to some degree it's good. It's just when it starts to get in the way of like making actual progress on the map that it's more of a trap to be weary of. I don't know what I'm doing here, by the way. I think I'm gonna add some details. So I'm gonna join this. Let's see. Never beat up on yourself. That is what your family is for. Yeah. That's a good point. It's if you're not looking out for you, you can't really count on other people to do it, so no need to get in your own way. Some kind of lights? What do we have for lights? Ooh, we have a continuous vertical light or horizontal light texture. That's nice. Is there one for yellow? There doesn't appear to be. Telly face. Okay, that's cool. I didn't see that earlier. All these silly Telly textures. That's another thing, is I shouldn't really be taking this too seriously because it's for the Telly project, so it's a bit of a piss take on purpose. Oh, we actually have some tree mid textures. I didn't notice that earlier, so if I really wanted to, I could draw some X's, use these here, but I tend to like things for that purpose better. Oh, we have red lights. Unbroken, that's nice. What Doom port do you like most? I just kind of rock DSDA most of the time. I used to be big on Jeezy Doom, but I don't know. I kind of soured on it after a while. I like the way that DSDA looks and feels better for the most part. I don't really do a lot of free aiming or anything like that, or use crosshairs, so. But I know Nugget's really popular. I've been meaning to check that out at some point, but I don't really give it a whole lot of thought. It's kind of like I got one that works, so kind of good. But if I had to, if I ended up checking out another one, it'll probably be Nugget or something. So okay, so let's do this. We're gonna do a red light. Oh, you know what? I also want a border texture so I can light this up. I don't know if that's equivalent on both sides, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna notice that. Come over here, grab this. What about you guys? What Doom ports do you all use? I kind of like what's going on here. It's kind of got this like corporate vibe, maybe. Jeezy Doom, but lately I've been trying more classic options. Jeezy Doom almost exclusively. I mean, Jeezy Doom's still popular. There's nothing wrong with it. It definitely feels different than other ports. So for some people, that's a bit of a deal breaker. But if it's not for you, then that's good. Just means you have more options. Oh my god, I'm like missing with all my copy and pastes. Yeah. Macros the Black. Hey, how you doing, man? Haven't seen you around in a while. Map is looking awesome. Always love the details in your levels. Thank you so much. Hope you've been doing all right, dude. I've played some PR Boom Plus last week and just realized there's an even better DSDA port for Mac. Installed nice, and it seems even more vanilla than PBR. Yeah, I mean, PR Boom was kind of the sort of progenitor of the modern classic engine. That sounds a little pretentious the way it's phrased, doesn't it? But I guess PR Boom's a bit deprecated at this point, isn't it? It's not really updated anymore, and it essentially its lineage went on in DSDA. I don't know if I really want those there, but I'm just trying to... I said I was not going to overly detail this area, and I've been doing almost nothing but detailing this whole time. So, yeah, definitely don't listen to me, because I'm apparently not... I don't keep my word. Okay. So, I do actually want to start thinking about progression somewhat. So the Telly wad is interesting in that you don't like you can have keys and locked doors, but the way to beat the map is actually each map needs to contain 3 blueprints, and once you find all blueprints, a sector with a special tag, which I need to read the instructions because I don't remember. But a sector with a specific tag will open up, and that'll like unlock the way to beat the map. So it's more of like sort of a non-linear key hunt type of thing where the keys themselves don't really matter. Now you can have the blueprints hidden behind, you know, locked doors or whatever, but keys themselves are not necessarily the main progression like they are in traditional Doom. So I can kind of go about this a different way. One thing is that non-linear progressions are a little tricky because balancing for difficulty curve gets a lot more complicated. It's adds many degrees of complication to the challenge of balancing gameplay. But it can also make things interesting that there's like even the idea of like an optimal route, right? So this could be like an advantage from a gameplay design perspective if you look at it the right way. Weird question, but what comp level should I go for if WAD says vanilla compatible Doom 2? I guess only speedrunners can tell the difference. Generally, you're going to go with comp level 2 if you're using like a DSDA type of port. Or either vanilla or vanilla strict. Probably vanilla strict if you're using comp levels in GZ Doom. Typically, the difference between the default and the strict comp levels, at least I think on the surface, is that monsters have infinite height in the strict comp levels, and they do not. Like, you can jump over them and land on their heads and walk around on top of them in the non-strict comp levels. And that can actually, I think that's like a core component of Doom's gameplay that is altered drastically. The infinite height's going to be a pain in the ass to get used to. It is, but I think so many maps are built around it that if you don't use it, it's like massively altering the gameplay. I just realized these lines are not lined up, and I have no idea why they're like off the grid. These vertices, unless I did like this. That must have been what I did. But yeah, I mean, it also has some advantages having infinite height. Like if you're like up here and you need to get down and there's like, you know, an arch file, I don't want to deal with the arch file. You like lure him over to like over here, right? You can sit there and shoot the rocket launcher at this pillar, and because the explosion has infinite height as well, the arch file will sit down here and take all the splash damage, and eventually he'll die. So, you know, there's like ways you can use infinite height to cheese just as much as it can kind of screw you over. You always disable jump in GZ Doom. Yeah, I mean, that's a thing, right? It's like GZ Doom gives you a lot more flexibility, and I think you can have jumping and free looking in DSDA, but it's just it's much less common for people to even try. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm a proponent for play Doom the way you want, but I will say that you are drastically altering the experience if you start using stuff like jumping and free looking and turning off infinitely tall monsters, because it just, I don't know, it's just, it'd be like you're playing a racing game against your friends or something like that, or one of the cars can fly and all the other cars have to drive on the ground or something. I don't know. That's probably not a perfect analogy, but it just, the way that it feels so drastically different from what's intended is kind of the closest proximity I can find. GZ Doom is not Doom. I mean, like at the end of the day, like I won't go so far as to say that. And maybe you're just saying that tongue-in-cheek, like you're iterating what the common argument against it is. That's not truly a position you hold yourself. Whether it is or it isn't, it makes no difference to me. I don't care if that's your opinion. That's fine. But I mean, like, it's like a 30-year-old game. It doesn't really matter if people want to play it a little differently than it's intended at this point. Asphalt. Overusing this asphalt texture now. It's becoming my crutch. no knock to the guy, but I just feel like I want to skip all the Jimmy tracks. Well, this has been playing for this is 12 minutes and 19 seconds, so it's almost over. I didn't realize. Autumn leaves, winter falls full. There's another one that's 5 minutes. Autumn leaves ... in this playlist. I think Beautiful Doom plus Free Look with auto aim disabled can be really fun, even though it drastically changes the core gameplay. It makes the game much more dynamic. Yeah, see, I mean, that's... Like, there's ways you can kind of, like, adjust the levers. Like, having Free Look doesn't distinctly make the game easier, it just makes the game different. And yeah, I mean, playing with... when I play WADs that encourage Free Look, I usually turn auto aim off as well, because then it's like, okay, now you're telling me that accuracy is a little bit more of an element of the gameplay. Knife World, Living Dead live stream, first one I've caught. Yeah, man. I was actually setting the stream up, and the last time I did a mapping stream was 1 year ago on Memorial Day 2024, so you may have been missing out on them, but I haven't exactly been providing a lot of opportunities for people to see them. So this is going to be like an office interior? I don't really do a lot of Doom Cute, guys. I want like a fancy office building kind of thing going on here. So let me get a 45-degree angle. The idea of composing a level in 2D, but in a way that feels 3D, must be harder than doing it in 3D straight up. It can be. It has its pluses and minuses on that regard, I think. But I mean, if you're mapping in UDMF, you can totally make genuine 3D spaces as well, so. Yeah, not being able to have rooms over top of other rooms is both a blessing and a curse in some ways, in my opinion. But it also simplifies what types of things you can do, so it's like, all right, well, I don't have that as an option, so I won't even worry about trying to do it. Playing Brutal Doom or Free Look or anything like that makes it a different game. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, I'm not a purist. Like I don't really care how people choose to play it, but I also say, like, if you're playing with mods or you're jumping and crouching and stuff like that, like you're playing my map the way I didn't intend you to. So I'm like removing myself of any liability of like if it doesn't feel right or whatever, right? Because at that point, you're just kind of doing your own thing, and I'm happy for you to enjoy the game the way you want, but also, like, I'm not going to sit here and try to entertain every single fringe case of, like, oh, what if the player uses Russian overkill? How do I balance my combat for that? It's like, nah, dude, you're on your own with that one. These resources look epic. Should I make a Telly map? Still have to finish my maps for Imping and Mayhem 25, though. Well, you have until, I think, June 6th, around that time. But I mean, it's Telly. How can you say no to Telly? Going for this like a corporate chic vibe, maybe? I don't know what I'm doing here. Some stuff I want to see with a tutorial for, and people don't make those in regards to UDMF and MBF 21. Yeah, there's not a lot of good tutorials for some stuff, like especially with MBF if you want to get into DSDA hacked or whatever it is, DSD hacked. That it's a lot harder to find learning resources for that stuff. Usually you're like reading forum posts and wiki pages trying to decipher stuff, or rarely for UDMF stuff there'll be a Chubbs Doomer video that's useful. UDMF supports alignment of flats, which is awesome. Yeah, I wish... That's one thing that... I wouldn't call it like the bane of my existence, but the number of times I've designed a space and then realized like the teleporter flat doesn't line up with it, and I'm just like, oh, my symmetry's broken because I took my eye off the ball for too long. And it would be so much easier if you could just line up the flats. It's painful. Chubbs always comes in clutch. I'm a Chubbs doomer when I watch Living Dead. Hell yeah. I have that effect on people. I don't know what this texture's called, so I'm gonna go over here and grab it. Big logo. Oh, is there small logos? Hold on. Nope. There is this one, though. How wide is this texture? It is 512. Okay, you know what? 512 is going to be huge. So I'll do what I did with the texture outside, and I'll make it scroll. Oh. So here's one of my midis. The one I made for Portraits of Doom for P.E.K.K.A. Kind of looks like a corporate lobby. Maybe the ceiling needs to be taller though, right? Like how do I want to accomplish that? I like this border going around, so maybe I'll do... How did I not copy this line? Give me this line. See, this is where I would like to have a new stone texture to use for the interior, but there's not really that many good ones. I mean, like, there's actual stone, and there's these, like, temple stones, but nothing that looks like the inside of, like, a skyscraper lobby that's not the same texture I'm using for the exterior. So that's a little bit of a bummer. It's kind of getting this, like, atrium vibe going on here. This map is giving me Judge Dredd, Dredd versus Death vibes. Interesting. I find that build engine game textures tend to not fit Doom for some reason if those are build textures. They are definitely ripped from Duke 3D. And I tend to agree with you. I've also noticed some weird things like... some of the build engine textures are in odd increments, so it's like they don't tile the same way. If you're used to drawing in 8 unit intervals or 16 unit intervals, like for Doom. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna want to use for this interior here, and I want to start using more of these Telly textures as well. Like, we just got to level the Telly textures. We do something like this. I have an idea. Whoa, shit. I just changed my desktop. I don't... I just switched over to my other desktop. Okay, so OBS did capture that. Interesting. I, like, have never done that before. Wait, where are the like Telly comp textures? I want some of those. What are these called? TT Mon. What does that mean? TT monitor. I want some of these Telly Direct ones. Yeah, I feel like the build textures, like, it's weird because they've been used in Doom for so long that they kind of feel ubiquitous for Doom, but I do not like this song. Trying to get into spriting. Oh, interesting. I wish I was artistic enough to feel like I could make sprites. I don't know. Like, I feel like it'll work if I use these textures. Like, it's not going to ruin it, but gosh, I just wish there was something else I could use. Robert F. Always interesting to see people map. Thank you. And welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm just kind of freestyling right now. I don't really know what I'm trying to do. So I only say that to, you know, if you were here to just watch the process, that's cool. But sometimes I guess maybe I just get a little self-conscious about it because it's like, I don't know, do other people map like this? Do people who map seem like they know what they're doing? But, you know, I also chose to put myself out there, so it's not like I have a lot to complain about. Put in some natural textures with some similar color. Yeah. Or add some detail later and compensate for lack of variety. That's probably a good way of doing it too, is just like change how the areas are detailed. And that kind of gives the variety rather than what textures specifically are used. BPRD often did that when he had a very samey looking map. You know, I'm a little ashamed to admit I haven't played a ton of BPRD stuff. Uh-oh. This isn't symmetrical. There we go. This is a good sort of corporate lobby vibe. I'm feeling a lot better about this. Now, I'm going to need to get from the lobby to this like upper office area. So naturally that's going to be elevator. So at least I think, you know, an elevator is a good natural thing to put in a lobby. So how much, what's the width of this? 256. So I cannot put two 128 doors. I should have made this wider. I can still do that. Makes me think of Die Hard lobby. Nakatomi Plaza, it's like so classic. Had a lot more windows though, didn't it? That's the thing that kind of most corporate skyscrapers, a lot of glass everywhere. This isn't really going to have much of that. I want the Telly monitors. I love all these Telly monitors. What are my doors looking like? I actually haven't even looked at... Oh, that's right. So the map that this project is inspired by is a super 90s jank wad and all the doors use the ash wall texture for some reason in that. Is it supposed to be like a corporate office, like a cubicle office, like a regional office type of vibe. And all the doors into the little conference rooms and other offices are just made out of ash wall for some random reason. So the project sort of pays tribute to that by making all the door textures ash wall, but at least it has the grace of putting the support textures on it so that it doesn't look just totally whack. Let's see, what's the depth on this? This is 16? Yeah, that's good enough for a light. Syriac would have made a toilet out of that ash wall. There's still plenty of time to make toilets for this map. Let's see. You know, I don't... Oh, this still needs to be wider because I need actual space for the interior of the elevator. So let's make this even a little bit more. Let's go 64 is probably good. Come out. $160 and $160. That's probably good, right? Like, that's a decent... Oh, it needs to be more than that, though, because I actually need the door itself. Telly's the key to all this if we can get him working. Oh, we've already got Telly working. We know. Telly's an instant winner. How do they do the room over room stuff in Heartland? If I recall correctly, and I'm not an expert because I don't really know a lot about it, but I think Heartland relied a lot on portals to do what it did. Do I have a good elevator interior texture? I don't know. Like a supercomputer thing going on, like a tape drive, punch card computer. Linked stacked portals. Interesting. It's been a while since I scrolled through these, so I'm just doing that again to kind of see what I like. I like these monitor textures. I'm going to be excited to use these. Oh, how we got portals working in Doom Builder. Yeah, what options does Doom Builder actually have for supporting Eternity Engine features? That kind of looks like an elevator. It would pass for an elevator in a pinch at least, right? It's not ideal, but it would work. Let's see what else there is. I'll just use the Wolfenstein the Wolfenstein elevator interior. Oh wait, it doesn't even have a special elevator texture. I didn't even realize. Sean. Oh, Sean would make the most sense, wouldn't it? Oh yeah. I mean, it's got to be Sean. It's weird that this doesn't have like a door. I just thought about that. This is just a very strange building in general. It's not really that realistic. I don't think... Hold on a second. Because what I'm seeing here is that, like, if you were designing, like, if you're an architect designing a building, would you have something obstructing the front door like that? Architects are super pretentious. They would never, ever. That makes way more sense. Even though I was really proud to have made the pillar rotation. I don't know what is... I liked that, but it also just doesn't really add a whole lot, so... Is there any kind of glass door? Probably not, because all the doors have to be the dirt texture. Are they considering that the person may want to hide behind the pillar to block an Archie? I don't know. That just goes to show you that architecture just... They just don't really think it all the way through. Because, yeah, think of how many buildings you enter that would not offer good protection from an arch vile. And that's why I don't really like going out. Because you could get zapped at any moment. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really any good glass texture, so I think this is just going to be like an open... It'll be like one of those hotels you go to in a tropical country that just got... It doesn't have a front door, because it's just like, dude, the weather's a balmy 70 degrees Fahrenheit all times of the year. Why is the Canadian flag in the texture pack? I don't know. But Clippy, who runs the server that this project is hosted on, is Canadian, so, you know... Maybe we're just paying homage to our kind host. What is this MIDI? It's just like a freaking... Oh, it's a Mark Klim MIDI. All right. It's maybe one of the few Mark Klim MIDIs I don't really like. That distorted guitar is grating on me. I think what I could do is I think I'll have like a button that opens the elevator door just to give like a smidge of interactivity. This should be a different texture. Like, is there like any kind of good wood or interior texture for this? The fact that we can't see the full logo in the lobby bothers me. So I set it up as a scrolling texture, so I think it'll be okay. Here, let's do a little quick sample of how we've done so far. So the map starts out in like this little subway. And there's one of the Tellys. I think this is a Hell Knight replacement. I haven't really shown off the assets. If anybody who isn't familiar with Telly doesn't know. So this little guy's Telly. He's from the original WAD that this pays homage to. I don't know why I left that there. But it does give me the idea. Maybe it would be good to have a light source in this building. This feels like too many light poles, so I'll probably rethink this, but I like the idea that they are here. So yeah, there's a lot of custom stuff. Most of them are Telly enemies. That's Telly. Pistol's default. Super Shotgun's default. Shotgun is default. Chain gun is like a highly inaccurate super chain gun. I haven't really tested this out in combat. I don't know if this is going to be good because of the spread. Normal rocket launcher. Plasma gun. It's actually kind of cool. So it's got this like little phone pad on it, but it gets stronger the longer you shoot it for. So it's kind of got an interesting little variation. You see, it consumes more ammo. And then the phone book. And it does different attacks based on how long you hold the fire button for. can summon a little Telly to run around. And this is the chainsaw replacement. So yeah, it's just very goofy. It's really silly. But anyways, oh yeah, this thing. I just put this monster down as like a little placeholder because I wanted to remember to use it, because whatever the fuck this guy's doing is wild, man. Look at this shit. Actually a really cool monster design. But anyways, back to this thing that I was going to show off. So you can see it. I think it looks cool as a scrolling texture. That kind of makes sense. I mean, if it's whack, I can go back and look for something else to put there, but I think it makes sense to have it as like a scrolling texture. And then all the different like little Telly things. Looks like the lost robot for Futurama that uses the cassette tapes. My little elevator. This elevator feels so tall. Maybe I should make the doors a little shorter. Yeah, I don't like all these lampposts. It just feels like... it just feels so amateur. So, I don't know if I'll do it today, but I'll probably go back through and like tighten up... spread these further apart and have fewer of them. Telly reminds me of the Mother 3 boss. It's a game I've never played. Can you extend the front desk to add more room for the logo? I could. Probably could. The other thing too is that, you know, I also have, I've also used that up here at the top of this part of the building, so it might be a bit redundant. That's supposed to flash, by the way. I think I broke the dummy sector join. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, I could make the whole lobby bigger. I think part of my rationale was I wanted to have a big, like, open cubicle area space here. But, I mean, I'm open to kind of... I'm not really, like, married to any specific idea. If I can bring this down, like, 2... I mean, that's still decent. What I'll do is I'll either... I'll probably like fully design this, and then I'll either copy and paste it into this one, or I'll just make it so only one of the elevators opens. And then, yeah, I guess I need to figure out how... So this will connect to here. I mean, I'll have to do the classic, like, I'll have to have a door on the other side here, which, you know, some elevators actually do that. I have to go up to here. How do I want this area laid out? Yeah, I don't really know how I want these areas to connect yet. Ugh. Take a tiny mental break. Just kind of... sit here and just kind of screw around for a second. Normally when I'm mapping, I'm like constantly getting distracted or like looking for a new YouTube video to queue up or getting up to check my water or whatever. So I'm not used to just like sitting here and having to focus my attention on it like 100%. I like the hanging office plants. Doesn't really make any sense just like sitting here on its own, but I bet Could make like a little planter or something. I'll think about that. These tree sprites go hard. I kind of like them. They're not offset right, I don't think. They should be higher because they kind of clip on the bottom. Wooden tree sprites. What a wild idea. It's ridiculous. I actually don't know if I want the interior to be this dim. Maybe I'll use like some lights or something like that from these. Like do some hard lights and hard shadows. Do you like to do layout first and then monster placements, or do you like to mix it up? I probably, it depends. It's like sometimes it's one and the other. I probably do like a mix. So I'll start to kind of like, once I get, you know, a little progression and figure out a few things, I'll probably start to put some monsters down and just kind of go through the map and feel some things out. But if I'm being honest, I probably do I probably stay layout heavy for a lot of the mapping process. Until I come back and start designing gameplay. Even though I think that in a lot of cases it makes the most sense to try to kind of keep the gameplay at the forefront of what you're thinking about doing if you wanted to like to be very gameplay oriented with your design. Because, you know, like when you kind of lock yourself into place with the 3D space that you've made, and then you're like, oh man, you know, like arch files don't work in this area because there's not any cover and I can't really add any or whatever. Then you're like, you kind of restricted yourself. You're like, well, I know I can't use arch files in this encounter because the space doesn't really support it. So it's kind of like, I guess if you were designing from a gameplay oriented perspective first, you would either keep that option open in some way, or you would kind of build the encounter while you were building the space. But for a map like this, where A, the map, I'm not really taking it super seriously in the first place, and B, it's kind of like more of a non-linear ordeal, so it's going to be a little more incidental combat oriented. It's probably going to be a lot more just like screwing around with the layout more than anything else. I don't know why I'm like jumping around over to this. I'm just very like sporadic when it comes to my mapping. Like that's why I don't really like make a lot of mapping videos. People are like, oh, we need videos of like the whole mapping process. I'm like, dude, it's just a whole lot of me having like wild ass ADHD and sitting around staring off into space. So I'm thinking that like there needs to be some kind of little elevator lobby area that this dumps you off to. So maybe like here. I'm gonna actually join these together just so that this is the same height. I'm kind of feeling this out a bit. I like how the Sean texture is the one that got brought upstairs. This will be like a little cubicle area. So this will be easy. That like once I kind of design some stuff, I can do a lot of copy and pasting in here. But I want some non-linearity to this, so I think I want to have like maybe a little break room that this connects to, or some kind of like big conference room or something. It's been so long since I had to go to an office to do work. I don't know like off the top of my head what it's supposed to look like anymore. I've never worked in like a big city corporate office. Time to use the vending machine. That's totally a good idea. No, you're totally right. I should use mini vending machines. I have one here just because I was like, ooh, I see the vending machine textures. I don't know if anybody else does this when they map, but sometimes I'll like, if I see a texture I really want to use in the set, like, ooh, that'll make a good column. I'll just like make a column randomly somewhere and be like, oh man, you know, I really wanted to use, oh my God, I cannot type. I really wanted to use this support texture. So I'll just like put this somewhere in the map and just leave it there until I remember that like, oh, I wanted to use that. This might be a happy accident. Not that this texture itself, but like having some columns in the middle of this area could kind of help break it up a little bit. Trying to figure out what it should line up with in terms of like the symmetry. Thing is, having only 64 or less fewer between the column and the desk wouldn't make a lot of sense. But then it's kind of weird if it doesn't line up with this in some way. This is the kind of thing where I like kind of get in my own head about the layout, the geometry. That texture has clickable vibes, like if it was a lift or something. Yeah, I wouldn't actually use this texture for this area at all, but it would make like it's like a small lift that you'd have like an item on or something. Room's too small for columns. You might be right about that. It never hurts to kind of like just say screw it and experiment with an idea for a second though. I don't know. I mean, I could probably make the room bigger and not really lose out on anything. It's not... I don't hate it. Just go all out and make it like a postal joke map. So I need to have like a whole grocery store that has like 6,000 people in the line for you to buy milk. It's actually kind of inspired by a Duke 3D map. My working title for this map is Tell a Rumble, like Telly. Tell a Rumble. I don't know, I always liked that map in Duke 3D. You get the jetpack, you can fly up into a skyscraper. It's a fun deathmatch map. Puns, yeah. If you're not making puns, what are you doing? But maybe if I do make this just wider in general. How wide do we need to make it? Depends on how wide this is. Like make this 128. Does that come down? Yeah, I don't really think that like the map suffers from this being slightly larger at all. Okay. I'm going to leave these here. So that was like totally accidental, right? Like I was explaining something and then I kind of did something I kind of like. I've seen you active. I have some of your other mapping vids downloaded. Have fun. See it. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the support. Okay, so... But yeah, I was just kind of like explaining something randomly and then sort of accidented upon something I might like. We'll see. The nice thing is if you don't like it, you can just delete it. So if it doesn't work, just get rid of it. But we'll give it a chance. Because I think there's potential in this idea, having these little columns here. I don't know if that texture is going to be one I use, you know. None of these are set in stone. Now, here's a few things. So, I start the player off with pump shotgun. That's pretty standard for a nonlinear map, right? And I think I might try to have it so all the weapons are just like the normal weapons, right? It is MBF 21, but we're not adding any new weapons. I don't know what this is. This must be the BFG. What is this? Hold on. What is this? Is this the BFG? Okay, it's the BFG. Sorry, that was... I've never placed the items in the map like that before. I mean, I'll probably do like a pretty standard, like one way you go get you a super shotgun, the other way gets you the super chain gun or something. But I want there to be more to explore on the path than just different paths to the progression, but actually like different like optional rooms. I think I'm going to do one elevator, by the way. I think I'm just going to do one. Cool. And that's enough space for the door and everything else. So, all right. So this will be able to like... I'm not sure how I'll actually want this elevator to work. If I want the ceiling and the floor to move at the same time, I'll probably have to do a voodoo doll script of some kind. I don't know if I really want that. I've never really made an elevator like that before, so I don't know how it's going to work. At least I'm getting some connection going on here, so then kind of dump out into this sort of little lobby area. I need to figure out what goes here. If this is just like it feels like there would be something here. And then this is like the main like sort of cubicle area, so there's be like desks and stuff. Blah, blah, blahs and desks in here. That's not how I'm going to actually do that. But this, I don't know. I'm going to be honest, I feel like this might be a good kind of opportunity to end the stream. Just an hour and a half of like unbroken mapping for me is a lot. And I don't really sit still this long in general for the most part, so I might go ahead and make this a good stopping point. I was actually hoping to get more progress done. I'll probably end up just mapping off stream for a while too. But yeah, I figured it would be nice to just kind of hang out for a bit and do some mapping. Plus I need to get some food soon, so I'm gonna have to stop no matter what I do here in the near future, and if I'm feeling a bit of a lull in my energy, then I might as well just say, let's do that. So anyways, I'm gonna end the stream here in just a second, but thanks to anybody who stopped by, and hope this was interesting or informative or entertaining. I don't know. It wasn't a waste of your time at the very least. And yeah, appreciate it. I don't know when I'll stream again. It's not really my normal thing. But it is kind of fun to just hang out and chill and map. Thanks for showing some of the process. Yeah. It's not very glamorous, right? Like, it's just kind of a lot of sitting around and just like, what if I do this? What if I do that? Maybe people who do it as like a job are really intentional with what they do for level design, but I'm just kind of feeling stuff out. So, and like I said, my normal mapping is even a lot less focused than that because I'm just, usually listening to YouTube on the side, or got to get up and go mess with the dog for a minute or whatever, There's a lot of just getting distracted during the process. So this is almost like an effort in affording some self-discipline into the process, but it's a lot for somebody like me. So, all right, guys, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you sometime. Bye-bye.